Yo, what's up, YouTube boxing community? This is the Boxing J. We're here to post 5 videos on Lomachenko, Salido, Chavez, Vera. First off, I want to talk about the ambience in the stadium. I was definitely surprised with the attendance because it was actually really low. I think I saw a couple of empty seats down on the floor. I actually it was pretty surprising for me to get 7th row on the floor a week before the fight. I know most fights, the floor seats are the first to go off, especially in these smaller fights where the floor seats are definitely more feasible as far as amount. Now, even Maidana and Broner had more people in attendance. Lomachenko actually had a couple of fans out there, and I think some people fought in the stands. I think it was a guy from the Ukraine and a Mexican, because coincidentally, right where the Lomachenko fans were at, screaming, hollering with their flags, is where they had the fight. But you know, in addition to the attendance, usually there's a couple of stars out there, boxers attending these fights. When I went to see Broner and Maidana, there was a ton of boxers. I took pictures with the Charlo brothers, with Danny Garcia, Anthony Durrell. There were a lot of fighters out there. In this fight, there wasn't jack squat. The only big guy that I seen out there was George Foreman. Of course, he's a part of the promotion in this event, and so was El Diamante Marquez, the Houston fighter. And that's the only guy I saw, and that was it. But getting into the fights, Orlando Salido, Lomachenko. In the beginning, it really looked like Lomachenko does not have the experience of fighting inside. Orlando Salido did do, maybe you can call it, some dirty tactics, but that's part of boxing. That's part of your seasoning with your experience. One thing that I noticed when they were clinching or when they were right in each other's face, toe to toe, or holding, Salido was the guy throwing punches, trying to work their way out. Lomachenko was just holding, waiting for the ref to split them apart. He really didn't have the experience or the right strategy to work his way out of clinches, fighting toe to toe. One thing I do definitely have to take my hat off is his 12th round performance. I really thought the longer the fight went, everything was going to go in the hands of Salido, but looks like Lomachenko was throwing some devastating body punches. I don't know. I was watching it live, but I couldn't really tell. I believe in the TV, you probably see a better expression from those punches. But from what I saw, he was really getting ready just to take a knee or bend down from those body punches, because I know he got like a couple back to back, and it looked like they were like killing him. But I'm surprised at what Lomachenko was able to do. They definitely threw him in way too early. But there's definitely a lot of things you gotta admire this guy for. A 12th round, second fight, has not ever gone to this length in bouts as far as the longevity of the fight. 12 rounds, the performance that he put on the 12th round, he did pretty good. I would say it was a split decision, if I'm not mistaken. I think he definitely has a long future he can definitely just work a couple of extra fights. Maybe they could do a rematch more down the line. But they need to work this guy. Let's do doing 8-round fights, 10-round fights, going into 12. And with his experience in the amateurs, it's not like he needed 20, 30 fights before he can get into a championship fight. Just give him maybe like 10 fights, or 8, and then throw him into that mix due to his experience in the amateurs and Olympics. But it was a pretty good fight, other than all the holding and grappling. But on to the main event. Also want to mention, I'm not really going to... Juan Diaz fought as well that night. It was untelevised. I'll throw in a couple of analysis on there. First off, going off, first round, it was definitely pretty strong toe-to-toe. Juan Diaz was definitely beating him. There were at moments when the other guy, I really don't remember his name, he was just running around the ring. Juan Diaz was chasing him. But he was able to make Juan Diaz work his legs, work his body. And towards the 7th round, he started hurting Diaz. And I believe it was counted as a knockdown. He was knocked down, but they didn't count it. I guess they thought it was a slip. But if you look back at the replay, when he hit him, he kind of lost balance, and I think he tripped over himself. I don't know, and he fell down, due to the punch. But they didn't count it. Yeah, towards the 12th round, the 10th round, it was a 10-round fight. Juan Diaz was able to dominate him. Good fight. I wouldn't put him in with the best. I think Juan Diaz's best times are over. Maybe he can put up a good fight, but I am not impressed with him. I feel he had more of that instant killer before. He would do that non-stop action. Maybe due to his age. I know he's not old, but his age is catching up to him. Maybe he doesn't have the athleticism to finish like he used to. But it was a good fight. Now going on to Chavez Vera. I didn't even know. I got a message that supposedly Chavez came in late. One thing I was impressed though, I don't know about his fight night weight, but it doesn't look like he put on a ton of pounds like he tends to do. Maybe this 168 helped him. He didn't look like a 190 pounder, at least not sitting ringside. I'm not sure what was his weight. I guess since he went in late, they didn't get a chance to check his weight. But one thing, man, that I hate about Chavez, and that which I'm noticing, is he tends to just whine. If he gets hit on the belt, he's gonna say he got hit below. If you're pushing him or grabbing his neck, when you're clinching, he'll complain. One thing that cracked me up, one of the guys behind just screamed out, "Man, give Chavez a tampon." Because that's actually what he's acting like, man. But Brian Vera did a great job up until the 4th or 5th round. And if you notice, he was winning, but when he was moving, he was pushing Chavez back. He did a fantastic job making him miss. He was pivoting. He was doing it all. But once I don't know if he got tired or if he abandoned his game plan or if it's just something that Chavez pushed him into. He abandoned his game plan. He started fighting toe-to-toe. He was the one going backwards. And that's when Chavez started dominating. I'm pretty sure Ronnie Shields told him or reminded him, and maybe he just got tired. But this time around, I believe it was pretty clear that Chavez won. he was a bit busier. He did hurt him. Almost a repetition of the first fight, but going 12 rounds, I think Chavez finished it a lot better. I was surprised, I think in the 10th round, 11th round, Vera came out with some thunder behind his punches. He came in with a damn 6-7 punch combo and was able to push back Chavez from the ropes. But it looks like that took out everything out of him. But we'll see what's next for these fighters. Maybe Juan Diaz will be in a televised fight now. Next time around, I don't know if they're going to try to mix him in with a title belt. I'm not sure who are the title holders at 135 in Top Rank, since these fighters are only fighting in-house promotion. Salido, who knows what's next for him. He might be going to 130. I know he went over the weight. Lomachenko, I mean, he just needs a couple of more fights, and I believe he'll definitely be in the mix. And I think he can definitely beat Salido. Just needs more of that experience, of working these dirty tactics, which is part of boxing, And finally, Vera, I mean, he's definitely become a very marketable fighter. I'm pretty sure he's going to get some fights at 168. 160, 168, I know in an interview he said 160 was kind of killing him to get into that weight. 168 looks feasible for him, and he looks good in that weight. He looks strong, definitely. That's the same thing for Chavez. I know he mentioned in the post-fight about fighting Martinez, but I doubt. There's no way in hell that he can make 160. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. But, if he can do it, if Martinez beats Cotto, I would pay to watch that fight again. We'll see. But Chavez definitely has, that's his goal, he has to work towards getting into that weight. Maybe do a couple of, maybe a catch weight at 165, 164. But who knows? This guy, we don't know if he'll make the weight or not. And finally get into that 160-pound range so he can get with fight with Martinez. But we'll see. It was good fights. Like I mentioned, the atmosphere was definitely not what I expected. I expected at least more people than Broner Maidana. There wasn't a Mexican fighter yet. There was a ton of fans, ton of fighters out there. I mean, I took pictures with a ton of people. And in this fight around, it was low, man. Like, there wasn't jack squat. But it's the difference in the promotion companies. I guess Golden Boy always tends to have a much better presence in live atmospheres in boxing matches. But that's the Boxing J. Peace.